The Mermaid of the Silent River and the Lost Prince, Part 1. In a quiet village, hidden behind tall palm trees and flowing rivers, there was a place no one dared to go. It was called the Silent River. The water there was always calm. Too calm. No waves. No fish jumping. No sound. Even the wind avoided it. The elders of the village always warned, do not go near that river at night. Do not answer if you hear your name. And most importantly, never look into the water after sunset. But as always, not everyone listened. In that same village lived a young girl named Zara. Zara was not like other girls. While others feared stories, she was curious, too curious. Zara lived with her grandmother, an old woman who rarely spoke about the past. But one thing she always said was, stay away from the silent river. One evening, as the sun was setting and the sky turned orange, Zara was sent on an errand. Zara, her grandmother called. Go and fetch water before it gets dark. Zara picked up the clay pot. From the main well, she asked. Her grandmother looked at her carefully. Yes, not the river. Zara nodded. But deep inside, she was already thinking. As she walked through the village, she noticed something strange. People were whispering. A group of women stood together, speaking in low voices. Did you hear? They said someone saw a figure in the river again. At this time, yes, and it was calling a name. Zara slowed down. Her ears sharpened. Her curiosity grew. Instead of turning toward the well, she turned toward the river. The path was quiet, too quiet. Even the usual evening sounds were gone. When she reached the river, the sun was almost gone. The sky was turning dark. The water, still, silent, just like they said. Zara stepped closer, her heart beating fast, but not from fear, from curiosity. She bent slightly and looked into the water. At first, she saw nothing, just her reflection. Then suddenly, the water moved. Just a little. Zara stepped back. What was that? She whispered. Silence. Then, a voice. Soft, gentle, almost like a whisper carried by water. Zara. Her heart skipped. She froze. Who said that? She asked. No answer. Then again. Zara. This time clearer. Closer. Zara slowly turned toward the water. Her fear was growing now. But something else was stronger. Something pulling her closer. Come closer, the voice said. Zara shook her head. No, but her feet moved anyway, step by step, until she stood right at the edge. Then suddenly, the water rose, not like a wave, but like something was coming out. Zara gasped. Her eyes widened. From the river, a figure appeared. A girl, but not a normal girl. Her hair flowed like water. Her skin glowed under the fading light. And below was not legs. It was a tail. A mermaid. Zara stepped back in shock. You're not human. The mermaid smiled sadly. I was once. Zara's fear mixed with confusion. What do you want from me? The mermaid looked at her deeply. Help. Zara hesitated. Help with what? The mermaid's eyes dimmed slightly. There is someone trapped between my world and yours. Zara frowned. I don't understand. The mermaid whispered. A prince. Zara's eyes widened. A prince. The mermaid nodded slowly. He came to the river many nights ago, and he never left. A cold chill ran through Zara's body. What do you mean he never left? The mermaid's voice became softer. He is not dead, but he is no longer free. At that moment, footsteps echoed from behind Zara. Zara, her grandmother's voice. Zara turned quickly. Her grandmother stood there, breathing heavily, fear in her eyes. What did I tell you? She shouted. Zara turned back toward the river, but the mermaid was gone. The water was still again, as if nothing had happened. Zara looked confused. I saw. Her grandmother grabbed her hand tightly. You saw nothing, she snapped. But as they walked away, Zara heard it again. Very faint. Zara. And this time, it sounded desperate. Back at the hut, Zara could not sleep. Her mind was full. A mermaid. A trapped prince. A secret her grandmother clearly knew. She sat up, heart racing. Who is that prince? But far away, inside the silent river, the mermaid watched the surface quietly. And beneath the water, a shadow moved. A human figure, trying to rise. But something was pulling him back. Zara did not sleep that night. She lay on her mat, eyes wide open, staring at the roof. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the mermaid and heard that voice. Help! She turned to look at her grandmother, who was lying quietly in the corner. But something felt strange. Her grandmother was not asleep. She was awake, staring into the darkness, as if she knew that Zara had seen something. Grandmother, Zara said softly. No response. Grandmother, I went to the river. Silence. Then slowly, the old woman sat up. Her voice was calm. Too calm. I know. Zara's heart skipped. You know. The old woman looked at her deeply. What did you see? Zara hesitated, then whispered, A mermaid. The room became quiet. Heavy. The old woman closed her eyes briefly, as if she had been expecting it. And what did she tell you? She asked. Zara swallowed. She said, a prince is trapped. The moment those words left her mouth, her grandmother's expression changed. Not fear, not surprise, pain. Ahem. The old woman sighed slowly. So it has begun again. Zara moved closer. Grandmother, please tell me the truth. What is happening? The old woman stayed silent for a long time. Then finally, she spoke. Many years ago, she began, before you were born. This village was not like this. The river was not silent. People used it freely. Zara listened carefully. But one day, the old woman continued, a prince came to this village. Zara's eyes widened. A prince? Yes, the old woman nodded. He was young, curious, just like you. Zara leaned forward. What happened to him? The old woman's voice dropped. He went to the river, at night. Zara's heart began to beat faster, and he heard a voice calling him. Zara whispered, just like me. The old woman nodded slowly. Yes. He followed the voice. And then, he disappeared. Silence filled the room. No body was found. No sign. Nothing. Zara's throat felt dry. So, he is still there. The old woman looked at her. If what you saw is true, then yes. Zara stood up suddenly. We have to help him. No, the old woman snapped. Zara froze. You will do no such thing. Her grandmother said firmly. That river is not just water. It is a boundary. Between what? Zara asked. The old woman looked away. Between this world and something else. Zara's mind raced. But the mermaid is not your friend. The old woman interrupted. Zara shook her head. No, she didn't feel dangerous. The old woman sighed. That is how it begins. Zara stepped back slightly, confused. Listen to me carefully, the old woman said. If you go back to that river, you may not return. Zara looked down. Her heart was torn. Fear and curiosity. But what if he is suffering? She said softly. The old woman did not answer, because deep down, she knew something Zara did not. That not everyone who goes into that river is meant to be saved. The next morning, Zara woke up early, earlier than usual. Her grandmother was not in the hut. Zara sat up slowly, her mind already made up. I just want to see, she whispered. She picked up her wrapper, stepped outside quietly, and began walking toward the river. This time, in daylight. When she arrived, everything looked normal. Birds were singing. The wind was blowing gently. The river looked calm, peaceful. Maybe it was just night, she said softly. She stepped closer. Nothing happened. She waited. Still nothing. Zara frowned. Hello, she called. Silence. She sighed. I knew it. Just as she turned to leave, the water moved. Zara froze. Slowly, the surface began to ripple. And then, the mermaid rose again. But this time, she looked weaker. Her eyes were tired. Her voice soft. You came back, she said. Zara stepped closer. Yes, I need to understand. The mermaid looked at her, then listened carefully. But before she could continue, the water behind her suddenly turned dark. Something moved beneath it. Vast, violent. The mermaid's eyes widened in fear. Go, she whispered urgently. Leave now. Zara stepped back. What is that? The water shook again, stronger this time. Then suddenly, a hand shot out of the water. Human, grabbing the surface, trying to pull itself out. Zara gasped. The prince. But before he could rise, something pulled him back. Hard. The water exploded with force, then went still. Zara stood frozen, her heart racing, her voice shaking. He's real. The mermaid looked at her, tears in her eyes. Yes, and he is running out of time. Watch out for part 2. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.